John 3:2. Hic venit ad eum nocte, et dixit ei, Rabbi, scimus quia ad Deo venisti magister. Nemo enim potest haec signa facere quae tu facis, nisi fuerit Deus cum eo. This man came to him by night and said to him, Teacher, we know that you have come as a teacher from God, for no one can do these things, these signs or wonders, which you are doing, unless God will have been with him. This is the opening salvo in the conversation between Nicodemus and Jesus that lends so much fascination to this chapter. And in fact, it's Nicodemus who is being referred to by this third-person singular near demonstrative, hic. This man, that is Nicodemus, came, venit ad eum, that is to Jesus, by night. And here we have a simple ablative of time when or time at which. And Nicodemus said to him, here's our dative of the person being spoken to, which we've seen so often. And here begins our direct quotations. Rabbi, teacher, we know that, and again, this is one thing to notice if you've sort of grown up on classical Latin, where we would normally expect an accusative infinitive construction after a verb of saying, thinking, knowing, perceiving, etc. In the Vulgate, as in later Latin generally, instead we're going to introduce such constructions with quia. Scimus quia, we know that you have come, venisti, as a teacher. And here an important thing to notice is that magister is in the nominative case, as Erasmus so helpfully points out in his annotation on this passage. This is not the vocative case, that is, Nicodemus is not saying, we know that you have come from God, O teacher, but actually this is in apposition to the implied to in venisti. You have come as a teacher, as an instructor of Israel from God, and here we might insert a comma. So, nemo enim potest, what do we always expect after we see potest? An infinitive, and here we get it. No one is able to do haec signa, these things. Signa is used in the Gospel of John as elsewhere in the New Testament, almost in a technical sense to mean miracles. That is, miraculous signs, signs pointing to the power and glory of God. And other times in the Vulgate and elsewhere, you'll see the word virtutes used for this same concept, that in the sense of acts of power. No one is able to do these signa quae tu facis, this is a simple relative clause here, which you are doing, unless God, and here we get the future perfect. Don't let this confuse you. We don't use the future perfect all that often in English, which means sometimes it strikes us as unusual in Latin senses, but you just need to remember in the speech and writing of the Romans, people were a little more careful to be precise about relative tenses, relative sequence in time than we are when we speak English, which is why we have the future perfect here. No one is able to do these signs unless God, in other words, will first have been with him.